here, and we will make sure that y'all can see me and hear me. Get that part started. So, waiting on long. 16 seconds into this, still waiting. There we go. And yep, I got an ad first. So wait till I can close out of that. There we go. And we'll move this so I can see. All right. Evening, everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm seeing a whole bunch of 5x5s. So boatloads and names coming across. So I'm guessing y'all can hear me. Shocking. Because the funny part is, when I do the live streams, I don't use a microphone. But apparently, nobody's ever complained about the volume on the live streams. Yet when I do the videos, I use a microphone, or started to about a year ago when you guys were saying it was too quiet. And I posted this on the community board. I pissed some people off, and frankly, I don't care, okay, because people whining about, oh, I can't hear, blah, 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 blah. All right. I heard you, heard everybody. I went out and spent $159 on a microphone, got the best one that's out there, and I use it. Most of you guys, no problem hearing me, and that's cool. I appreciate the fact that people said, yeah, we have no problem too, okay? But we've got to have trolls. And for me, it gets a little frustrating because I'm trying to read the comments, and see what people have on their mind as much as I can. I mean, I can't read them all anymore. There's upwards of 1,000 comments on a lot of videos. And when I see that I can't hear you, okay, well, I'm sorry. That's either a problem with your phone, your computer, your TV, or more likely something with YouTube. I'll say this flat out. I watch a bunch of different channels too. And every one of them, I've got to adjust the volume because some are quieter, some are louder, whatever it would be. Maybe it depends on how well my voice picks up in a microphone. I don't know. Okay. But I'm done with that. Okay. And mods, just so you know, and I think Robert just posted here, anybody bitches about the volume on the videos anymore, I'm just blocking them from making any more comments. That's done, okay? Because it doesn't bring anything to the conversation. All it's done is to cause drama and piss people off. It's not constructive. I'm just done, okay? You want to bitch about it, fine. You get one chance, you won't bitch about anything again. It's simple. And I know people are like, oh, I've watched you for 2 years. Fine. Then you pretty much know I've done everything I possibly can to solve the problem. That's it. I'm done. So, yeah. Okay. So, sorry to start that off on this, but this has kind of been chewing me for the last 6 hours here after reading all the crappy comments today. Not that there were a bunch of them, but it's every freaking day. And people, I got to send them an email. I've got a bitch. Okay. If this is the problems that you're going to bitch about now, go buy a shovel. You won't make it in an SHTF situation for a week. It's just simple as that. If you can't overcome something as little as, gee, turning up your volume or figuring out how to make it a little louder on your end, you ain't going to survive. Okay. That's just, bitching ain't going to get you anywhere. Just simple as that. Okay. I saw here in the pregame, as you guys were talking about, a lot of people were asking about the time frame of the embassy in Russia thing. That should end sometime overnight here for us. It was a 48-hour deal. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it was just one of those where pay attention because, ironically, the same time that's going down is the same time that New York put 1,000 National Guard and state troopers in the subways because they can go check everybody in their Gucci bags getting on the subway, but God forbid somebody, check anybody in the suitcase they're bringing across the southern border, right? I mean, that's the logic here. So, and then if anybody caught the fun ones, all the great comments. Biden's speech was one of the best State of the Unions ever. He looked so lucid. His age is no longer a question after that speech, except for today. Let's see. He said to the people in Pennsylvania, "I'm running for Congress." Uh, there was something else he said too. There's another bonehead comment out of his mouth. Then, of course, Kamala Harris, because, if she doesn't have, yeah, let's put it this way, something besides words in her mouth. Yeah, her comment was when somebody was asking about Joe Biden, she said something, "We need strong leadership. That's why he won't win in November." That was not edited, anything. That answered the question about Joe Biden, said that is why he will not win in November. I hope you're right. You're an idiot. Then, of course, you're seeing some of these comments now that not Trump picking Nikki Haley as a VP, but there's rumors that Biden might want to pick Nikki Haley as a VP. That ain't going to happen. Okay. Nikki Haley already said she wouldn't run on the no labels ticket because she'd have to have a Democrat vice president, and then she wouldn't be able to get done what she wanted to do. There's no way in the world she'd run with the Democrat, even though she is a Democrat. She didn't think so, but that's what a rhino is. So yeah, it's just one stupid thing after another. Watching videos, seeing about food recalls and gas prices going up and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, we are living in stupid society. That's it. And, we all get together to not deal with stupidity. So, on my end, I'm just going to get rid of the stupidity. I don't need to deal with it. You don't need to deal with it. People want to be stupid. Go watch Joe Biden's speeches. So, all right, let's get into Q&A. I'm kind of in a sassy mood tonight, as you can probably tell. So we'll see what's on your all's mind. As usual, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps. Just makes it easier for me to find the stuff in the chat as I'm scrolling through. And the only thing I absolutely require is that we treat each other with respect and dignity in here. No name calling, no being obnoxious, rude, or anything like that. And of course, don't bitch about the volume. Okay. Go get a hearing aid. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Let's get into this and see what we got. And I know I'm just saying, I'm unsubscribing. You don't have to announce it. Don't care. Okay. That's fine. Let's see. Joe Shinpaw, pinball, has the price of seeds going up and quality going down? I'm assuming just not typed right for a question, but yeah. I noticed this year, when I went, because there were some seeds I had to get, and I'll still go cruise through there to see what's in the seed packet. Yeah, they're dropping down. You're paying, $3 a pack for tomato seeds. There's 10 seeds in them, 10 seeds, 30 cents a seed now, how many seeds are in a tomato, right? When you pick your tomatoes, yeah, package them up, 30 cents a seed. You're sitting on a gold mine in your garden. But yeah, quantity's definitely going down, prices going up, but I mean, we're seeing shrinkflation in seeds too. So, let's see. Okie Forge, I adjust my volume according to YouTube schemes. Yeah, like I said earlier, I mean, I watch other channels and some are very loud, some are quieter, however it is. People say the commercials are louder. Okay, that's been going on since the 60s, guys, in television. The old deal was, watch a movie or watch something on TV and you have the volume here and then the commercial comes on, it's louder. It's because the advertisers and the TV stations caught on that, gee, when a commercial comes on, this is when everybody goes to the bathroom, goes to the refrigerator, whatsoever. So we'll make the volume louder so they can hear it when they're on the other side of the room. You don't think YouTube does the same thing? Of course they do. You could skip a video and, a lot of them in 5 seconds. Okay. They know what you're doing. Let's see. Farm Ranch, you sound fine. YouTube, just make sure the ads are louder. Did the same with the TV back in the day. That's exactly what the next comment is exactly what I just said. Yes, you're right. Vicky Savage, my hearing's not what it was, so I use captions. Yeah, there's some videos that I'll turn the captions on too. Some people aren't clear. I watched a video today. It was somebody doing a video on blueberries and strawberries and raspberries. And I was watching the video, and she was outside, and you could hear the wind blow through her microphone, and it made it a little difficult to listen. Gee, improvise, adapt, overcome. I turned on the closed captions, and I was able to see what she was saying. It wasn't rocket science. Aaron M75, any update on how the animal shelter is doing after the Christmas fund donation? They put out a quarterly newsletter or whatever it is. So the last one I got was right at Christmas. I should be getting the next one around the end of this month, probably. But you guys remember we donated $5,000 to the animal shelter. They were greatly, greatly appreciative. I haven't heard anything in the local news about them having any problems. Nothing good, nothing bad. So, one of those no news is good news things. Texas Gal 07. I think Joe spent a little time with Hunter before the speech. Oh, yeah, damn well they had him pumped up on God knows what drugs to make him fired up, to make him not stutter. He was probably breathing straight oxygen for 15 minutes before he got there, just so he could stand up for an hour and actually talk, or read his teleprompter. The couple of times that he went off script is when he screwed up. Don't you love how we have a president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, who cannot have an independent thought or put together a sentence on his own? Everything he does has to be told to him by somebody else. He's a figurehead. He's a puppet. He is not in charge. But we need to reelect him. Right. Whoops. Shot to the bottom. Okay, I gotta find where I was. Come on. See, this is the thing you guys don't see. This is YouTube playing with me. They keep shooting it to the bottom here, so I can't find where the questions are. Okay, Ann Palmer. I'm going to plant my first corn garden this year. Any suggestions on a good sweet corn variety? I grow peaches and cream. It's, a bicolor corn, yellow and white. It grows, what would I say, 6, 7 feet high. So it's not one of these 13, 14-foot corns that you're not going to be able to reach ears. I get 2 ears of corn off of each stalk, so that's good. The one thing, and like I said the other day, just make sure before you plant your corn, because remember, again, I'll say it again, corn is a grass, okay, just like your lawn, okay? It's a monocot, where most every other plant is a dicot. You get the 2 leaves that come out, the leaves grow in pairs. Corn is 1, okay? It's a monocot. It's a very heavy nitrogen feeder. So one of the first things to do before you go out and plant your corn, say a week or so, 2 weeks ahead of time, I've already done it for mine, is go spread a good high nitrogen, first number, 32-0 or whatever it is, like lawn fertilizer, in where you're going to plant your corn. Corn sucks nitrogen like crazy. Okay. That's why you hear all the 3 sisters type things, because like the beans and the squash, they're going to they're going to fix some of that nitrogen in the ground, so therefore the corn can take it up. That's the other reason, besides the corn stalk being something for the pole beans to climb up. Sword 5000. After the State of the Union, I'm stocking up on whiskey, weapons, and shovels. Well, it's surprised that you have any whiskey left after the drinking game that was the State of the Union. But yeah, probably a good idea. I saw something today that and again, I'm just going to put this out there. I can't put, there's now talk of the 15th of March, which is next Friday, is when we could see the beginning of an economic collapse. Okay. I'm just saying this is stuff that's being tossed around. And there was something that I heard, a few weeks ago, before we had the big AT&T outage, that was kind of predicted. Not saying there's any truth to it, just something to pay attention for. Okay. Kevin Little, Patera's been having herself a few troll issues lately. Yeah, I mean, and that's it. And somebody made a comment today too, and I agree with it, that people are on a short fuse. I get that. Okay. And that when that happens, when you got nothing better to do than get in a comment section and start bitching, that's when it's time to close the computer, shut off the phone, and go do something else. Okay, because it's just not healthy for you. Channel 23. Do I miss veggies, fruits, and grains while doing carnivore? Fruits and veggies, yes. The grains, not really. Okay. It hasn't bothered me not having a spaghetti on my plate or rice or even bread. Okay, that hasn't bothered me. Bakery, I've never been a real bakery guy, so that no big deal. But fruits and vegetables, I like my fruits and vegetables. That has been a little tougher, to not have that. And I mean, God, I've been doing this for 5 weeks, 6 weeks now, and I mean, I had some fresh spinach with one meal one time. Mrs. P gave me a couple of slices of cucumber another time. And I think that's it. Okay. I've stayed very true to this diet. But yes, yesterday, Buzzard Prepper, you guys know him. Buzzard lives a couple hours away from me. He had access to some really good mushroom compost. So he brought a trailer of it out to me. And so we spent the afternoon unloading mushroom compost into my gardens and sat down, had dinner and everything like that. It was a really nice time. And the whole time I was joking with them. I'm like, yeah, as I'm doing all this work trying to grow vegetables and everything, and I can't eat any of them, But, as he said, and it's the same thing that I said, this isn't forever, okay? I mean, sure, it's a dietary change that I'll probably keep on for the rest of my life. But once I drop the weight, then of course you get into maintenance, Sure, then it's going to be, if I want to have a salad today or something, I can. Okay. It's just not one of those, oh, you dropped the weight, cool. Now what, have spaghetti with dinner every night or have potatoes with dinner every night. I'll just put the weight back on. Okay. But then the other part is, as I've said to everybody too, it's not like my garden's going to change anything. It's just I'm going to do a lot more preserving of the food this year because I'll can it and it'll be there. And I mean, I'm still going to grow potatoes. I'll probably still get 150 pounds of potatoes this year. It seems to be what I get about every year because I plant the same size. Okay. So I'll can 150 pounds worth of potatoes. Great. If the world goes to shit, it's just more food I've got put back. Not a problem. And I enjoy working in the garden. It's very therapeutic to me too. So that helps. DH, I think it was a potato head double the other night. Too lucid. What do I think? And as much as you go, that's a little far-fetched. I've seen the pictures, and you guys have seen the pictures too. And it's like the ears are shaped different. The nose is shaped different. There was one today, it's like they had a close-up of Joe's ear when he was giving the State of the Union. There was no ear canal. So you're talking about masks. And y'all know how well they can do makeup in Hollywood, okay? Uh, I mean, just, go back to the 60s and look at Leonard Nimoy's ears in Star Trek. They've come a long way from doing that. But, think of the movie Avatar or something like that. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable? Probably not. But would I put it past them? No. If you're willing to cheat to win an election, why bother putting the guy up there that got elected anyway? You know, all they need is somebody who can read a teleprompter. Hell, he could have put Hunter up there, but if Hunter was in too much of a drug-induced stupor, he probably couldn't read the teleprompter. It's not like Joe has to think. A third grader could give the State of the Union for Joe. Can you read these words? Yes. Congratulations, you're qualified. Estate Time 85. Hi, folks. Hi, Pinball. Got potatoes to start, but I'm using pots. If we get one more freeze, will they survive in pots? You'll lose the tops for sure. And then if you got them in pots and you got a warning, a frost warning or something like that overnight, bring them inside. Okay. If you got them in pots, just bring them inside that way. Just, pay attention to what the temperature is going to be. If it's going to get down to 34, I'd probably bring them in because, the weather forecasters aren't precise. And you don't want to have them grow and then get them frostbite. Reloader, how do I store my garlic for planting next season? If you preserve your garlic right, okay, and how you just give you the quick one on how you do it. Okay, when you pull your garlic, okay, you get the scapes and everything, the whole plant. You pull the whole plant, you lay it somewhere where it's cool and dry, dark is good, okay, and you let them sit there for about 3 weeks and completely dry out. They're dry because when it comes time to cut them, okay, and again, if you're going to make the braids or whatever, you're not going to do this part. But if you cut one of those stems about an inch above the end, you get the bulb and it come up to a top, you're going to cut that stem about an inch above the point. It should be completely brown inside. If you cut the first one and it's green inside, there's any green inside, it's still not dry. Okay, so leave it completely dry. Then you can do it just like potatoes or whatever. Just put them in a box, put them somewhere that's dark, and got to be dry and cool temperature. Don't put them in the garage where it's going to be 100 degrees in the summer or anything like that. Put them in a closet or something. And by spring, you might see little tips, or I'm sorry, by spring, by October, November, you might see little tips of them coming out. But you got to remember with garlic, you don't have to store it long, because if you're harvesting, you're going to harvest your garlic somewhere in July, and you should be planting it somewhere at the beginning of November. So you've only got a couple of months that you got to store it till it goes back in the ground anyway. Tom Seaban, how are my seedlings doing? I'm patiently waiting here in Wisconsin to start my seedlings. My cabbage, my broccoli is ready to go into the ground. If it wasn't pouring rain all day, I would have been out spreading the compost and tilling everything in. So now that's probably been put back to tomorrow and Monday, but it'll be spread out that compost, till everything in, put my landscape fabric down, and then get my cabbage and broccoli at least in the ground now. And then I can work on putting the other stuff, because the beets won't be ready for a few weeks and the peppers don't have to go in for 2 months. So, but yeah, there's not a whole lot yet that I've got that's ready to go into the ground. In a month from now, yeah, there's going to be a lot more. Sherry Covell, all my complaining worked. Got hubby's mail order prescriptions stat, no charge. Apology letter and a $15 gift card. Good. That sometimes that's what it takes. You just have to raise hell with some of these people, because again, remember, in business, nobody cares anymore. Oh, you didn't get the product? No big deal. I mean, I'll give you the perfect one today. It was raining all day today. I'm sitting in my chair, the same one I make all my videos, and I can see the street out the door. Okay. It's a couple 100 feet down. The FedEx truck comes on by and leaves a package right down at the bottom of the street. Now, mind you, this street that I live on goes a mile up the hill. There's houses at the top of the hill. Okay. A mile up there. Guy left a package down there, just at the bottom. Told Mrs. P, I said, are you expecting anything from FedEx? She goes, no. I said, nor am I. I said, I think they just left the package down there. So I go down. Sure enough, there's a box down there, cardboard box in the rain, left down there. FedEx is supposed to be home delivery to the door. Okay. Go down there, I find the box. I look, it's my neighbor who's halfway up the hill. So I take the box up to him. You know, that's quality business right now. Well, we got it close, right? You know, yeah. Your package was delivered. Where? Well, now it's a treasure hunt. Now you get to go find it. That's the thing. And you know, even then with FedEx, it is. I've called them and bitched about them doing this many times. So have all my neighbors. And I mean, I just tell everybody, do not ship with FedEx. I'll tell businesses. It's like, well, we ship via FedEx. Can you ship somewhere else because FedEx does a crap job of delivering it to me? You know, and I mean, I just tell businesses I change my provider because of them. And I mean, I bet you this happens in other places too. So what Sherry's saying about calling and bitching, yeah, needs to do it. This is how we change things. We vote with our voice and we vote with our dollars. I won't ship with FedEx because their service sucks, you know. So, you know, sorry. And I do, you guys know when I'm shipping things like generators, I mean, there's $100 a pop in shipping. Okay. I mean, I drop a couple of $1,000 a year in shipping stuff. FedEx don't get a penny of it. So, Circe, temperature to drop potatoes. How cold is too cold for day-night temperatures, Massachusetts? You're still at least a month early. Okay. My potatoes won't go in until mid-April. So don't even worry about it for another month because even though you're up north of me, you're up on the coast, and I believe your planting zone is similar to mine. Yeah, you got another month to wait, so don't even worry. Janet 175, that reminds me to sharpen up my axes. You know, that was something we're supposed to do in the fall. But if you haven't done it, do it now. Drummond's son live. Do I think Biden was drugged up for the speech? Biden's got to be drugged up to get out of bed in the morning. Okay. I mean, I would love to see what his prescription pad looks like, you know, his medicine cabinet. I mean, the guy's got to take half a dozen things just to function. Absolutely. He was drugged up for the speech. Twin Lights, that I missed the weigh-in. No, I don't do an online weigh-in. Catgirl 66, remind everyone to check their subscription. I just checked and I was unsubscribed. That's been going on for months. They've been shadow banning me. They've been unsubscribing people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, as I've said to everybody, you guys know I have a video up every morning, and most of the time, probably five of the 7 days a week, I'll have a lunch video up. If you don't get the notification, just go check the homepage and you'll see that there's something there. In regards to reminding everybody something else, just in case y'all don't realize, we changed clocks tonight, guys. So before you go to bed, push your clock ahead an hour. T. Fisher, thank you for the super chat. Evaporated milk? I don't get why, but okay. Prep Rebel, glad who you are, don't ever change. I'm too damn old to change. Sorry. I just get more crotchety as I get older. You know, soon be get off my lawn, but you know, then I'd have to be president. Miranda Babcock, would I recommend we vote O person or by drop-off ballot or mail? What am I going to? I'm guessing you're saying vote in person or by drop-off ballot or mail. I will vote in person. and I will give you this. The I Again, personal opinion. The ballot box drop-offs, I think, are going to be watched like a hawk this year, and they're going to be scrutinizing those ballots like crazy. I don't want mine, not that there's really any risk of Trump losing Tennessee. I don't want mine to be stuck in one of those boxes where, well, gee, we don't know there, somebody came in and dropped 20 ballots in this box and we got it on film, so we're going to quarantine all these ballots and maybe we don't count them. Okay. The mail, I don't trust the mail as far as I could throw it. I mean, every election we see stories about postal carriers dumping boxes of mail out in the field somewhere. So if you want your ballot to count it, mailing it would be the last way I'd do it. And I know you get states like Utah, it's the only way to vote. The only way that I'm going to vote, I'm going to go in person, and at least in Tennessee, you go in person, you pick all your votes on a little touchpad or push button thing or whatever, and it prints a receipt of what you voted for. Yeah, that's how I'll vote. John, thank you for the super chat, super sticker. I got the $100,000 or 100,000 subscriber plaque about 3 weeks ago or something like that. I showed it to you guys a couple of weeks ago. Uh, Mary Marks, Menards in Evansville, Indiana, had seeds for 10 cents. Rural King was buy one, get one. Yeah, if you see those things from Menards or the dollar store or whatever, and again, provided it's seeds of something that you want to grow, okay? I could see seeds for okra that are free. I ain't taking any. But provided it's something you want to grow, get a bunch and save them. They'll be viable for a few years at least. But okay, then maybe you don't have to buy seeds next year, or maybe they're not 10 cents next year. Or if the world goes kaplooey, now you got something to barter with that cost you a whopping dime. Who cares? If you see them cheap like that, like in the fall or late summer with Dollar General, they're selling them 10 for a buck or whatever. We're seeing this 10 for a buck. Grab a bunch. Vicky Savage, Pinball, I'm sitting on a gold mine with my chestnut trees. Seeds for planting are $2 a nut. No joke. I believe it. Mrs. P actually went out today and she was raking up a whole bunch of the chestnut husks because these things are really sharp. I mean, you ever seen what a chestnut looks like? I mean, it's the nut inside is about the size of like a hazelnut, but it's completely surrounded with a spiny, porcupiney like husk. And I mean, those things are sharp. They hurt when you touch them. And so, of course, you get dogs walking through the yard. The deer come through and they'll get the nuts out of the chestnuts, but then they leave the husks. And then, of course, we've got to constantly cleaning up husks all over the place because, sharp things and puppy paws do not agree. Conserve Friends, 1,000 subway cops was just fine under Giuliani. Now an extra 1,000 troops. Well, yeah, you got to think about the difference between New York under Giuliani and New York under de Blasio / Adams. Okay. I mean, we're going back to, as they used to call it, the bad old days in New York, when it was just escape from New York. And now start thinking about Soros DAs, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and tens of thousands of illegals. That's a recipe for disaster. I mean, I wouldn't change planes in New York right now. Okay, I wouldn't go anywhere near that city. Estate 1085. I spent about $2 a packet at Walmart, but I decided it's still cheaper than pre-potted. My library is a seed exchange too, so I think I'll start using that. Yeah, go to Walmart. I looked the other day when I was there. I wanted to see what they were charging for starts. $5 for one plant for a start. Like, no, I'll spend $3 on 10 tomato seeds. I'll get 10 plants, you know. Okay, fine. I got to have the dirt and solo cup for it or whatever. Okay, so I spent $4, you know, big deal for 10 plants. We just shot to the bottom again. Back where we go. Okay, as far as I can get up. Gwen T just checked into buying a side of beef here in southeastern Pennsylvania, over 1,900 bucks. Okay, but how? I mean, are you getting a cow? Are you getting a steer? What's the weight? Okay, if you're getting 500 pounds of meat, that's a good price. Okay, so you know that's the thing. What are you going to get out of it? If he tells you it's 200 pounds of meat and he wants 2 grand for it, you know, tell him to go fly a kite. But you know, if you get, and again, I can't tell you what beef prices are all over the country, but you know, around here, I know they run, depending on who's raising them, somewhere between $4 and $6 a pound. Kevin Gaston Sr., there's talk of the sun rising in the west and setting in the east. I'm guessing you're talking about the polar shifts. Okay. When it happens, it happens. Okay. They've been talking about this for decades. It ain't here. Okay. When's it going to happen? I have no idea. You know, so if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's one of those things. I'll deal with it when I see it. It's not like anything I can prepare for. T. Fisher, thanks for the super chat again. Love you, Mrs. B. Messed up my joke. There you go. Stubborn forever. Every time I plant raspberries, they die. What am I doing wrong? I, I, not enough information to give you an answer on that one. Yeah, that wait, I can't answer that. It's way too vague. Jason HO23, what's my vape setup? It is a Geek Vape mod with a Baby Beast tank that probably gonna have to be replaced and find something new because they don't make them anymore. So, but I got so many coils for it because, of course, I stocked up on them, and now, of course, I can't replace the tank, so I got all these coils, so I'm using the old one. Country Humans Network, what size of container would I plant tomato and peppers and herbs? Tomatoes or peppers, I would put 1 plant in a 5-gallon bucket, just so you can get a good root system out of it. Herbs you could plant in a cake pan. I mean, you don't need that much. I mean, you know, a 6-inch pot for herbs would be plenty. But tomatoes and peppers, 1 plant per 5-gallon bucket. JD Marie, Pinball, can you plant corn in big tubs? My gophers pull everything underground if I plant in the ground. Yeah, you can, but you're going to need to have a whole bunch of them. I mean, again, remember how corn is pollinated, okay? When it tassels, that's all your pollen that has to, when the wind blows or the corn shakes, it'll fall off and it falls onto the silks of the corn, and each silk goes to one kernel of the corn. So that's why you plant corn in blocks like that. You can't plant 5 corn plants and expect to get anything out of it. Okay. You know, you need to have a block, and you should have at least a block of 5 plants by 5 plants. I wouldn't even try anything smaller than that. You know, so at that point, you know, you're talking about 25 square feet to do that. If you're going to plant them in tubs, now, of course, you've got to have 25 square feet of tubs. You could do it in buckets, but again, the problem you're going to have is, you know, it's going to send down its brace roots. It needs something to hold on to. Corn's high. You put it in anything, that corn's going to blow over. I mean, I would not recommend doing anything but putting it in the ground. Indiana mom, is our stashed cash worthless if and when the economy collapses? Again, it depends on the on how bad the collapse is. I mean, cash was still worth something during the Depression. Okay. You know, the economy collapsed. I think we'd all agree there. Cash was still worth something. It's when we go into a Armageddon type event, you know, that we have the book 1 Second After or something, or the aftermath of a nuclear war. That's, as long as the government still exists, the cash still has value. It's getting less and less and less and less, but you you can't, you got to prep for everything. You can't just prep for doomsday, okay? Because if that never happens in your life, you've got all this stuff you prepped for that was completely worthless to you. You got to go all the way across. So, you know, it's again, you have some cash, you have some gold and silver. I know there's some people go, oh, you need to have some Bitcoin. I'm not one of them, okay? But, you know, you plan all the way across, all for all aspects, okay? And I mean, gold and silver would be good either way. Cash will only be good up to a certain point. But right now, I can use a $20 bill and spend that a lot easier than I can spend a 1 ounce silver coin. So, you know, you look at that, you got to go, you got to have a little bit of everything. Uh, yeah, last Boy Scout, beware the Ides of March. Actually, we need to now beware at all times, which that's more true. Sam in East Tennessee, something ate my corn, squirrel or rabbits. How can I prevent? No deer get in my fenced area. Uh, yeah, consider, first off, if you're in East Tennessee, you're near me. It's way too freaking early to plant corn. Uh, yeah, I mean, you got squirrels, rabbits, you could have moles, voles, something. Uh, if you got, it's obviously something small. Did they eat the corn kernels or were they eating the plants? I mean, I guess the first thing I'm going to say is you planting way too early. You're just wasting your time. Uh, but the the best, if you've got a dog, let him pee in the corn patch. That would be the best thing I'd say. Talked about that. Talked about that. Janice Kirk says there's no no seeds at Dollar Tree yesterday or today. I've been using last year's seeds. Yeah, I went to Dollar Tree a couple of weeks ago to see what they had. They had nothing. Von Mousetrap, Mr. P, I've seen Texas SB4 is supposed to be going into effect by 3/13. That's good. I heard it passed. And so far, I'm owing the Christmas fund $13. Good. Let's see. Okay, so we're talking about Menards and Rural King again. On the go, have I ever moved garlic from one point to another this time of year? No. You really shouldn't ever, especially root crops, try to move them uh, because all you're going to do is you're just putting yourself, even if they do survive the move, they've got to reestablish their whole root system again. So, I mean, I've never even heard of somebody try to move something like that. And no, I've never done it. T. Fisher, what do I feed an invisible cat? That's easy. Invisible food. Uh, Beth Wolpert, will you get mushrooms in your garden where you add mushroom compost? I shouldn't. The mushrooms have all been harvested and everything like that. Uh, I mean, could there be a spore in there or something? I suppose. Uh, but I mean, it's the same stuff I used last year, and I got no mushrooms in my garden. So, pepper place switch on. How long do I need to leave chicken compost before it's safe for the garden? Uh, I, I can't give you a day. The best thing, you need to check it. You need to get a compost thermometer, okay, and let it compost. And then when the thermometer says you're back in the safe range, that's when too many people go, oh, it said 60 days, or oh, it said 90 days, and then they throw something out there and it just burns everything up. Okay, don't try to go on time. Go on temperature, and that that will tell you better. Go make your pile of chicken manure wherever. Throw. You can get a compost thermometer on eBay or on Amazon for probably about $10. Throw it in there. You lower the temperatures. When it comes back down, I think it's about 80 degrees, then you're good. Uh, Robert, if my video's not up by 7 a.m., it screws up my coffee. It that depends on a couple of things. Usually I'm pretty good about getting it out between 6 and 7. But there's sometimes that it will take forever for YouTube to clear a video. It goes from, I mean, to give you an idea, I mean, how I've got to do it. I've got to record the video, then I've got to upload it to YouTube. YouTube uploads it, then they've got to go through and check it, okay? Make sure that I'm not saying words like the stuff that weren't supposed to use instead of that, or anything they don't like. And sometimes they'll have that done in 5 minutes, and sometimes it'll take a half an hour. And, it depends on, okay, was my video just a conversational video? That's straight from record to YouTube. If it's one where I've put graphics in or something like that and I've got to go edit it, okay, that's upload it from the phone to my editing software. Then once it's all the editing's done, then I've got to download it from the editing software to my computer and then upload it to YouTube, and then YouTube's going to, so, there's sometimes it can easily take 2 hours just to make a 10-12 minute video. We talked about that. My McIntyre, I tuned in late tonight, Pinball. Did I lose weight this week? Yeah, 4/10 of a pound. So this is it. We think what it is that I'm just not getting enough fat in my diet to get into weight loss ketosis. So in discussing this with others yesterday, I am now attempting to eat a stick of butter a day. Yeah, there's nothing like having beef for dinner tonight with half a stick of butter. So we'll see how it works. But I mean, I'm slowly losing a little bit, but I should be going. I should not be only a pound down from where I was 5 weeks ago. Huts John, what are my favorite sweet bell peppers? I like the red. Actually, my favorite type of pepper is called a lunchbox pepper. And they're actually a small sweet bell, but yeah, those are really sweet and really tasty. I mean, they're the size of a pepperoncini, but they've got that the wall thickness of a bell pepper, but they are so sweet. Those are really good. But yeah, if you're talking about colors, I'll agree with you on red. Jason Jester, do I think this is the start of martial law in New York City? Possibly. I I'm one. I want to know. I wish I knew what they knew. You don't just all of a sudden go, nah, we're going to add 1,000 more law enforcement personnel unless there's something going on that you know. So they were tipped off to a threat or something. It's not just because there were a couple. The conductor got slashed or somebody got thrown in front of a train. There's something bigger than that they were tipped off about. Mimsy's Garden says, don't go by pounds. How do my clothes feel? How do I feel? I don't feel any different. I know my body is changing. I mean, I think I said on a video or whatever here yesterday or something. I mean, I know I'm already one more belt loop, little holes that you put in there, one more belt loop into my belt. So, I mean, I know that is coming along. Mary Marks, bush cherries are blooming, but supposed to get down to 31 next 2 nights. If they're small enough, cover them if you can. I mean, even if it's a matter of throwing a plastic tarp over them, a bed sheet, anything like that, that'll protect them a little bit. I mean, if it's only 31, that would be enough protection. Angela Teichner, you can have scrambled eggs minus the yolks for the increased fat. I have scrambled eggs with the yolks. It's breakfast half the time. Terry Hardaway, many times weight loss plateaus while inches shrink. Yeah, the inches aren't going down either. I'm still at 53 inches on my belly and have been for 5 weeks. So, I mean, that's just like I'm here. I'm going nowhere. Healthy Disrespect, have I seen any videos on browned butter frozen to use as a snack? Browning it makes it nuttier. No, I have not. But I don't do anything for snacks. It's like I eat one meal, maybe I'll have breakfast, and that's it. So, Hutch John, a stick of butter per day. Hope your butt doesn't start making chocolate shakes. Yes, that's the thing. Everybody says, "Oh, you need more fiber in your diet and everything like that." No, actually, the more fat is what's going to keep you from getting constipated. The fiber will constipate you. The fat will break you up. Either we shot to the bottom or I've run out of questions. Oh, here we go. I missed a chunk. It shot at me and I didn't notice. I gotta go back here and find it. As far as I can go. Okay. Bonnie Evans, have a blessing coming up. Someone is selling me Golden Harvest canning lids for $10 a flat of 24 boxes. That's get everything. That's awesome. Mark Jones, Danny was talking about it last about it on Deep South's live stream last hour, sun rising in the west. Yeah, I mean, if they're talking about the pole shift, I mean, other than that, that would be the only thing I can think of, and I'm no expert on pole shift, so I'm not going to pretend I am. Tristan Davis, I'm going to send you some info about quarter, half, and whole beef here in Arkansas to announce $3.75 a pound. He butchers every Tuesday. His pork also, not a scam. Okay, that's a quarter less than what I'm paying, so I don't think it's a scam at all, not at all. But yeah, if you want to send me that, and anybody, I'll post it up on a community board or something like that, just as a lead for everybody. Because obviously it's not like you're going to drive from Kansas to Arkansas to go get beef, but Last Boy Scout pinball. We use strawberry pots to plant herbs. Works great. Yeah, that's a great idea because you get all the little pockets on the side of them. And again, most herbs are cut and come again, so trim them off and just let them keep growing for the year. Gwen T. Black Angus steer, 260 pounds, $3.65 pound, dressed hanging weight. Sweet, great price. Milo's Home Bike Shop. So if I plant ghost peppers, are there recipes for CS spray? Actually, if you grew some ghost peppers, the easiest thing to do with that is dehydrate them, grind them up, make them into a powder, and then get yourself some little like test tubes or whatever it is, or something that's breakable. Fill them up, put the cork in there, drop one of those in front of somebody. That's all it's going to take. Okay. Uh, yeah, Heather Bray, corn sucks in pots. Ask me how I know. Probably the reasons why I explained. Melody Lukenbill, what is good to plant in a kiddie pool? Potatoes are great. Sweet potatoes are great. Any root crop is really good in a kiddie pool. Uh, I would I wouldn't use a kiddie pool for something like tomatoes or peppers. I'd use like a 5 gallon bucket for those instead. But yeah, for root crops, you're going to grow radishes, not carrots. But potatoes, sweet potatoes, radishes, turnips. Yeah, I'd say any of those would be good in the kiddie pool. Von Mousetrap, where do people come up with these dates of doom? Example, March 15th for the economy. There, and again, you know, I'm not going to listen to an economist who's going to tell us this is when a nuclear war is going to go up. But if an economist says this, there's a lot of things happening on this day that could mess up the economy, that I'm going to listen to. Okay, so and again, they're going off of, could it be a triple witching day options wise, or there is the federal government's going to go into a shutdown that day because we're not being funded, those sorts of things. Ooh, ooh. Sam in East Tennessee. It was last year. They ate the corn off the cob. And you said it can't be deer. Hmm. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, unless that's birds, and I mean, at that point, you're talking scarecrow. I mean, if they're eating it off the cob, then my guess is that's birds. Uh, yeah, scarecrow. Jet, I use fox urine OM perimeter of the garden for rabbits. Yeah, that'll work fine. I mean, again, that you're buying something like that. I mean, you can buy wolf urine or anything like that. If you can train your dog to go pee over there, that'll work great. Nobody wants to be running around a little cup underneath their dog going, here, let me fill this jar. Prep Rebel. I'm about $100 over my original donation match because I lost another 10 pounds. There you go. Keep going. Kim Edmondson, both squirrels and rabbits eat my seeds. I started laying boards over the top until they sprout, then I have to chase the starlings away. Only the Lord can keep my garden growing around here. Yeah, I mean, and I'm lucky. I don't have the problems that you guys do with, because I know a lot of you guys have asked me about all sorts of different critters getting it. Even if you get some netting, some uh, bird netting or whatever it is, and put that over the garden, that might help. But you could take, depending on how many plants you got for your seedlings here, once they get started, the board over the top is actually a really good idea. You can take 2-liter soda bottles or milk jugs or anything like that, cut the bottom out and set those over the top of it for a while. It'll still let the sun through. You can still water through it, and it'll keep the critters away. Deborah Jones, what kind of beets do we plant? Detroit Early Red. So those are the ones we plant. I mean, again, there's a whole bunch of different ones, but that's the name of the variety that we plant. Prep Rebel, am I planning to plant pumpkins this year? No, I don't, because they just take over the whole area, and I'm still trying to get my yard in how I want it. I don't put them in my gardens. I want something else. I mean, if I ever plant pumpkins, it'll be like way back in a corner somewhere where I don't have to worry about them intruding on something else. One more because it's 9:59. How bright are my grow lights? Crap, you're gonna ask me that one. Here, let me see if I can find it. There be. I gotta look at the video so I can give it. I don't want to give you the wrong ones. You need a minimum of 2,000 lumens and a minimum of 5,000 Kelvin. Otherwise, they are useless to you. So that is it. That was from 10:40. All right, guys, that is 10 o'clock. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.